Hey everyone, this is Elsid 932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me again. Love is Blind Mexico, Season 1. I'm going to cover episodes 7 and 8 in this recap. Yeah, we left it off real dicey last time. So I would ask you just to like the channel, subscribe, and share it with a friend, because even though it's not getting a whole lot of hype, Mexico is on fire. Mexico is bringing a lot of heat and a lot of questions. So when you have a chance, I'm also reviewing Love is Blind UK. I have Brazil already in the can, and I'd appreciate if you would take a moment and look around. There are a few videos now. I'm finally getting warmed up. So we left the last episode with Paul, Francesca's friend, asking, will she be left at the altar by Willie? Willie is like nervous. He is swallowing real hard. Paul's like, are you going to man up and be about this? I'm like, dag, you just met him. Willie says he's nervous. Paul's like, I don't know about him. And then Francesca's like, yeah, they plan to ruin the wedding. How could you be my friend and plan to ruin my wedding? Paul's like, yeah, I plan to object. When they say anyone here objects, I plan to object. He says Will is not sure and he has to face the music. Okay, Paul, joke's on you, because Willie don't want a traditional ceremony. He wants a non-religious, non-traditional ceremony. So that part where you want anybody objects, you ain't gonna get it. And why would you, as a friend, stand there and object and ruin your friend's wedding? I'm side-eyeing you, Paul. Because if it's my friend, I'm going to be there because you're going to either sink or swim. Because what? It is her decision to make at the altar, not yours from the stands in the bleacher section. Pipe down. Sit down. Keep your seat. I'm sorry. I don't like when friends claim to be friends but want to do something so suspect. So Willie says he asked Paul and Vic, how do you see us? Paul's like, he sees a connection, but could they be nearing the end? He don't know. Paul sounded a little bitter. Fernando, and Karen, they meet Karen's family and her daughter, meet at a restaurant. Her mom, her sister, and daughter. You know, Karen's mom says she's nervous. Fernando brought flowers and gifts. He gave the flowers to the daughter and the gifts to the mama. Emmy, that's Karen's daughter. She's such a cutie. Says, you know, y'all seem close and a strong connection. Like, who told Emmy to say connection? Fernando says Emmy's incredible and seems happy. Mom says, will they want kids? And Fernando says, they ain't no rush. Emmy says, yeah, she wants a brother or sister, but only if they behave. It's like, girl. And Karen's like, well, what if they don't behave? She's like, we can send them back. Karen, you got to seriously educate this little girl. But cute answers. Like, if they misbehave, send them back. Oh my gosh. Mom says, you know, she hopes it stays rosy since they're living alone together. But it's going to be a different story when they are, you know, parents to Emmy as well. Mom says that Fernando looks just like her own father. And one thing they need to do always is to love and support each other. That was nice, Mom. It was a lovely visit. It was a lovely short restaurant visit. You know, get her daughter to warm up to Fernando. And it was really, really nice. And it was really sweet. Francesca and Will, he said he panicked as soon as he was told the wedding date. Apparently his wedding date was, I think, December 6th, they said. Somebody was December 6th. Said he panicked. He thought he'd be enjoying himself, but he is, doing stupid stuff. He's just so in his head. Oh my gosh. Francesca asked, what is your plan? Or what was your plan when you went into the experiment? You knew you were going to have to get married. So why all the dust up? Willie said he wanted to build his life with someone. She's like, but, the fear, is it for all of it? Because you were going into this looking for someone anyway. He thinks he bit off more than he could chew and can't deal with these emotions since it's keeping him from getting to know Francesca. He's in his head. Gerardo and Fernanda visit, and they brought with them a paper boat for a gift. They did this because Willie had told Gerardo that he felt like a paper boat. Wherever the wind blows, he moves with it. He's always felt like a paper boat. And he wants to give his life some direction and to be firm about his direction the way Francesca is. And Gerardo does something very, very sweet. He says, you are not a paper boat. You are a steel boat. I'm not sure how that could float. But I guess, yeah, other boats are made of steel. But when he said that, I automatically thought of the boat from the boat icon from Monopoly. I'm like, that will sink. But Gerardo says, you are a steel boat and you will break through whatever and wherever you are. Very sweet. Francesca says, the message was that Willie needs to take command of his boat. And that's what he needed to hear. And he didn't need to hear it from her. He needed to hear it from Gerardo. And I've always said that. Sometimes people need a lesson, but sometimes you're not the teacher to teach that lesson. And we always have to be aware of that. If you keep on teaching and the person isn't getting the lesson, maybe it's the messenger. They need to hear it somewhere else for it to click. So Willie decides, to get off the boat. He spoke to Francesca and he decided that it's not for him. While he's talking, she is crying. She wanted to run to the bathroom and hide. And he's like, no, baby, just stay here. He said he could not do more. He has more growing and evolving to do, and life has been emotional roller coaster. He's not allowed to let himself feel things in the past, not fall in love. Fernanda said, is this a first for you? Because this is how life is. Gerardo said, so your emotions freak you out. He never let himself feel, so feeling this much scares him. So Francesca says she can see how her sense of direction can scare him. And she's been through this so many times with men, and she won't stop being herself. Francesca, if you've been through this so many times and this is how a man responds, you may need to adjust. I'm not saying don't be yourself. You may need to adjust. Or figure out what about you is attracting these paper boat men. Francesca says as soon as the date was set, he went back into his old habits of what will his mom say, what will his family say, blah, blah, blah. While she's crying, I felt so sorry for her in this. Willie says he will stay the night and see how they feel tomorrow. I would have been like, pack up your stuff and go. Go. She seems to shut down when they hugged because she looked like she was looking off. And, he says they'll reset and go with the flow. Gerardo and Fernanda, go back to the apartment. And he said he found it hard to get up and exercise that next morning. But he's like, let me do this because, this is what she likes. He's like, she good, but she's a demanding trainer. Gerardo is trying to do a plan. It was trying to do the sit up and go all the way back, but he just plopped back. Oh my God. He's like, I can't do this. This ain't. And, people like to exercise in different ways. And him sit-ups and stuff like that, ain't it? Francesca and Willie, she said he needed space. She's not going to pester him with questions. And he does much better like that. So we finally go to Renee and Iris, and they go to meet his family. Mom immediately says she don't like entitled people. What about Iris gave her that she's entitled? Whew. But he says only his mom knew about the show. Dad is like, is this a reality show? Dad is not in the loop. Dad is like, what is this reality show? And ask then when he like, okay, it's a reality show. What did you like about Renee? Iris says she likes that he's confident yet calm. And his two sisters come in. I didn't make a note which sister said which, but it seems like he has a younger sister, both very beautiful young ladies, a younger sister that she looks like a teen. She could be in her 20s, whatever. She was feisty. Other sister, yes, she was a little fierce, but she's like watching and observing. And we found out she's a lawyer later. So I understood that. So the sister's like, how many people did you have? I'm just like, wait a minute. Iris says, she had 3 people, and then it was down to Renee. And the sister's like, oh, so you waited till the last day to make your decision, and chuckled. So Renee's like, yes, we fought. We did have a fight, and it's because I like to drink, and she doesn't. Iris is like, she didn't want a partner that had a problem with alcohol. Sister's like, I don't want my brother to change just because she don't like it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Could we deep it? She is expressing, Iris, that, a partner's excessive drinking is a problem for her. So just listen. Your brother's drinking may not seem as excessive, but she needs to experience that and see it. And if he, doesn't have to have alcohol to have a good time, but she could definitely see a change in him or see that he does not have a problem with alcohol. So mom is like, when my children drink, and I've observed them drinking, they don't pop off, okay? Iris is like, she's not cool, and the family reaffirms his love of alcohol. Now, Iris, is it a love of alcohol, or he just drinks with his family? I don't see Renee as a love of alcohol, but again, this is an edited show. We're only seeing the bits and pieces they wanted us to see, so I don't know. One of the sisters asked, what's the goal of this experiment? And Renee is like, to find love. And the sister's like, you can find love anywhere. Why you got to go here? He said, but this is based on our personalities. She's like, it's all nice and all, but it's too soon to move in together. Renee is like, you have no idea how intense this process is, but it's work for them. Kudos, Renee. You are protecting Iris in this. They are protecting Iris. He is protecting Iris, and they're protecting him. Because remember, after the experiment, Renee went home and had nobody. All they probably heard is that she broke it off with him. So yeah, Iris, they're going to be mad at you. Sis is like, he feels like he's in love, but they should take their time. Renee is like, they're willing to be open and resolve issues. And sis is like, this is going too fast. Why would you have chosen Renee outside of the experiment? And they give us that cliffhanger. Now, Renee, I applaud you for protecting her in this instance with your family. I do think it is for the best. But your sisters, I don't think y'all are explaining it well. But then how would you explain it? How would I receive it if I was your sibling or friend? I'm guessing they don't know the show, is what I'm guessing. So although they left it on cliffhanger, I'm not going to leave you on a cliffhanger. I'm going straight into it. Iris says she would not have approached him out in the real world because he is, because of his drinking. And she does not date anyone who hits on her at the club or the bar. This is like, she don't want Renee to change who he is. He's outgoing, life of the party with his family. Now, I can be outgoing. I can be life of the party. I don't need to drink to do it. But that's me. That's not Renee. Dad said, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Dad was quiet most of the time. The sisters are just going rapid fire. And Dad comes in and like, yeah, I don't believe it. Because they think it's easy. They need more time to get to know each other. Mom is like, listen, he pampers his sisters. And she hopes he's not the jealous type. Because previous girlfriends have been jealous of the way he pampers his sisters. Whew, child. I have questions. What does pampering your sisters mean? Because one sister says she's a lawyer. Renee is a doctor. So I'm guessing that sister makes her own coin. The younger sister, no idea what she does. What does pampering your sister mean? And considering we know about Renee and the fact that he spends and he has no savings, he just lives life, maybe he needs to pull back on a lot of things to save and plan for his future. That's all I'm saying. So the sister, Iris says we have the same family values, and that's where we connected on. Sis asks, do you want kids? They were just hitting Iris hard. Iris is like, kids are not a priority, and he's fine with that. Then Renee hit us. Renee said there will be no surprises. Looks at his dad. There will be no surprises, no surprise babies, because he had a vasectomy. And they will have to plan kids. It's not, that he can never have kids, but they can certainly plan. Renee is 30-something-year-old and a doctor. I'd like to know, Renee, where did you come to that conclusion? But I'm finding there's a lot of young men choosing this route. And I'm very interested in finding out why. Very interesting. He decided, and what's even more interesting in this is that Renee is their only son. They have 2 daughters. He is their only son. Nobody else has kids. The other 2 sisters, no kids. Renee made the choice as the only son that carries on the name that I may not want kids. I'm going to take care of this, snip, snip. And if I want to have kids in the future, I'll plan it. It's very interesting. I was not expecting that. I understand he's a doctor. He understands all of this, but I was not expecting that of Renee. So the dad says it's always a parent's dream to have grandkids. And the younger generation don't feel that way. Dad, if you don't preach, Dad is like, I'm going to have to come to grips that I may not have grandkids. And I think that's also coming to grips like, this may be the end of my family line. I think that's harder. Renee says December 6th is the wedding date. That's why it stuck with me, because Renee says December 6th. Family's in disbelief. Renee, why would you say the actual date? Because now we're in a frenzy. We already was rapid firing questions at Iris. We already didn't believe this. Why are you pow, pow, pow? Hey, by the way, December 6th, I had a vasectomy. Renee, can we chill? Can we chill for a minute? The family's in disbelief. Mom is tense and nervous because she's like, we weren't expecting this. Sis says, I can't cheer you on. There's no way. It is too soon after 3 weeks. Have you lost your mind? I was like, sis, tell me how you really feel. Renee's like, there are things about me that she knows that I haven't even told any of you. Not even you, my sisters. And I love you. He didn't say, and I love you. But y'all don't even know. She knows. Sister's like, says it's too soon, but we'll support you. She's like, and if it doesn't work out, I can be a divorce lawyer. That's when we learn she's a lawyer. And I'm like, how are you spoiling this lawyer sister? So mom asked about finances. How are your finances, Iris? Mama, now you should know your son's finances. Or do you think because he's spoiling his sisters that his finances are good? I'm going to give you that benefit of the doubt. You think since he's spoiling his sisters, he has the money to spoil them. But you may not know he don't have the savings. And it may not be that his previous girlfriends were jealous. They may be like, why are you giving off that money? Excuse me. Or that much if you don't have savings for yourself. So Iris says, yep, she has different accounts and she manages her money. The sister's like, you still gonna marry him? And because he doesn't have a limit to his spending. He doesn't even have personal financial skills. I was like, dang, you know your brother has no personal financial skills, yet you allowing him to spoil you. That don't sound right. I would have an account on the side and be like, okay, I'm going to take half of what he is and I'm going to put it in a savings for him eventually. I'm going to put it in a savings. You just, oh my God. Oh my God. It just reminds me of the movie Takers, just taking. His sister says he has no personal financial skills. Other sister's like, she got nothing to say. She got to work on the wedding day. Was like, girl, did you even check your schedule? Mom says if she can, she'll be there to support. And sister's like, if my parents make me go, she don't know how to answer that yet. She don't know if she'll be there. And the dad says, let's toast and bless the couple. Daddy's like, let's get this over with. Let's get these cameras out of my house. Jeez Louise. Mama's like, good luck. You're going to need it. I was like, that was the most pressure I felt. I was like, Mom, Dad, your son chose to go on this show, yet you're rapid firing at Iris. So Gerardo, Fernanda, and Willie and Francesca go rock climbing. Willie's like, he's overthinking, he's not having fun, and it's time to put fun back in the relationship. Gerardo said, Gerardo gets up, he's halfway there. He's like, I need to come down, Fernanda is like, no. The man's not comfortable. Let him go down. So Fernanda said, yeah, it's a hard sport. I should not have expected him to master it on the first try. You should enjoy your steps as you get to the top. And they're like, oh, that sounds like the experiment. Willie says it's hard to be introspective, but rather go with the flow, and not confront his own emotions. And how Francesca helps him deal with this is great. Francesca says she does not like saying no and giving up. Francesca, what this sounds like to me, maybe, is that you don't want to say no and give up. Does that mean you stay in relationships longer than you should? Because you don't like giving up? Is ending a relationship considered giving up? Because I have questions. So Chema and Sylvia, Chema's best buddy, Raphael, his poker buddy, is there. Raphael's like, all his old girlfriends are skinny. They ain't like Sylvia. Sylvia friends Angie comes over. And, both ladies are with the same modeling agency as Curvy Models. And said they are the only curvy models at their agency. Chema says is she always like this, trying to make him fall in love with her? And Angie's like, she's always herself. And Raphael like, he don't buy this. He don't think that Chema will go for this and say yes. Like, oop, your best bud said you might say no, Chema. So Fernanda and Gerardo, her mother and brother are coming over. No, actually, they went to dinner. I don't know if it's their house or at a rooftop restaurant. She brought Argo. And the brother says, their dad passed away 17 years ago. Do the math. Gerardo says it's a sensitive topic. He wants to know more about the family and the dad. And I'm like, what have we been talking about? What have we been talking about? That is significant. Your father passed away in your teen years. You haven't talked to Gerardo about this. You can talk off camera. The cameras don't stay forever. The bro says, in respect of Fernanda, he won't tell him anymore. He will let her decide how much Gerardo needs to know. Now, I'm like, I need to know. Excuse me. I need to know. But it's not my business. I understand, but you're so cryptic. I need to know. Gerardo said if she doesn't open up about this, then it's hard to say yes. That, Gerardo, I understand. Because this is something that is significant in her life. And you don't know if this is where her abandonment issues stem from. So she's not willing to share one of the deepest moments of her life. Yeah, I wouldn't say yes. So the brother asked, are you a dog person? Gerardo said, we have different thoughts on dogs and how dogs should behave. This brings me to think about Love is Blind Sweden. There was a couple that her dog was real wild and his dog was well behaved. He said, because I trained my dog. And it made me laugh at this. So Fernanda says she sees her dog as an emotional support and is allowed inside the house. And the dog is like her child. Gerardo sees dogs as outside dogs, just a dog. And having her dog inside is non-negotiable. He said, I'm not trying to change things overnight, but we have to make gradual changes. Brother, okay, this is another fundamental issue. If Gerardo likes dog outside, you like dogs inside, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? You should be talking about, well, how can we transition? Or this is a non-negotiable. Is he okay? Because he's not sounding like he okay with it. Brother asked about kids. He never thought his sister would ever get married. This don't sound good, Fernanda. But physically, he says she looks happy. And Gerardo said he likes her brother and glad he got the approval. Francesca and Willie, he got her flowers. She loves them. They're meeting his mom. His sisters came by with, one of the sisters has a little boy. He came too. And Willie has been single, we find out, for 3.5 years. And it's hard for him to reintegrate himself in being a couple. The sister said he is hard up to express his feelings. Sound familiar? His mom asked if her family knew about the experiment because he said, oh, it's about mom's approval. It's going to be hard. But mom just want to know, have your family gone through this too? Did they know, or did my child just withhold it from me? So she talks a lot about her family, and the mom says she wished, Willie had told them more about this. Dad says we are more rational family and not about emotions. Wow. Now we realize where Willie got this from. So Francesca says he has a problem communicating even with his family because the family's like, he never expressed emotions. And he says the family barely is told who he's dating. So Willie keeps a whole lot in. What happens when Willie gets mad? Because anger is also an emotion. Does he never get mad? Interesting. So Chema and Sylvia, it's her birthday, and he takes her to dinner at this lovely restaurant. She's really happy, and all the other couples sneak in behind her, and they come out singing happy birthday to her, and she is so overjoyed and just happy. And then we realize Fernanda ain't there. Gerardo goes to the bar, and the men all swarm to him. Yo, where's your fiance? He's like, I'm getting grilled already. He's like, she didn't want to come. Then, the pesky producers of Netflix shows us the conversation Gerardo had with Fernanda before he left. It's like, she don't like going where she's tolerated. She has had it up to here with Sylvia. And I'm like, what has Sylvia done? Sylvia has been the sweetest, non-confrontational person we have saw. I say we have saw. Sorry, I was going to say something else. We have seen. Sylvia ain't confrontational. The only time, that's what I was going to say, Saul. The only time she was like disbelieving and not confrontational, but like when Saul tried to say Letty wasn't, liking him. But even that, she was like, whoa, what do you mean? What are you saying? Sylvia, so I need to know what the up to here is with, Fernanda and Sylvia. They don't tell us, okay? Gerardo says he always wanted to do things as a couple. He used to go out with friends and he would be the only single guy, and he had dreamed about these are the moments, going to birthday parties, going to gatherings together. He had dreamed about, but he respects her decision. He said he's lonely and sad and he's amongst his friends because his partner isn't there. So then all of a sudden we see Letty come in with a cake and other people from the pods. Like, whoa, what's going on? So Letty and Saul did meet up after all. after all of this, and they had a good time, and they're going, it's almost like I gained a great friend through this process. Then all we see are heels and a lovely short leather skirt coming towards the bar. Maffer comes in, and Gerardo says, F me. That's the end of episode 7. Lucky for you, I'm going right into episode 8. So Gerardo is like, the time that Fernanda chooses not to be here, in walks Maffer. What a predicament. Now remember, Gerardo's love interests were Maffer and Fernanda. And Maffer is the one who wrote the song for him and sang it to him in the pods. And he still said, this ain't for me. Gerardo immediately sends a text to Fernanda. Sweetie, yeah. Maffer's here. I'm going to be cool. We don't know what the text is. I'm just making it up. Francesca tells Gerardo that Maffer is a snake in the grass and a bee. Don't mess this up. I'm like, Maffer? Everybody else is saying she was sweet, but Francesca says she's a snake in the grass. Interesting. Then, why do they seem? It's like the couple seemed kind of like we're here and you're not. Because when they started, putting the pressure on Gerardo, like, oh, Gerardo, Maffer's here, because they kind of did a semicircle. And I didn't like that. It's like everybody's on the spot. And they're like, oh, Gerardo, wait a minute. Didn't she write you a song? Oh, Maffer, sing it. Come on, sing it. And she wrote a song, and the song was about her love and expressing, how she cared about Gerardo. And then Francesca and this other lady was snickering. And it seemed entitled. It's like, yeah, you wrote this song and you sang it to him and you still end up single in these streets. It was not a good look. It was a mean girl look, Francesca. So I'm looking at you sideways because that was not cute. You just put this girl on Front Street. She only sang it for Gerardo. Yes, it's on tape, but nobody else heard the song. But now you want to put her on blast. She sings a bit of the song and now you want to snicker. Not cute. Another dude, I didn't get his name. If they put it up there, I'm sorry. He says, well, now that Gerardo is single, he's like, I'm not single. He's like, yeah, but you here alone. Gerardo's like, I'm not single. So Gerardo goes to a table with Maffer and they talk. Said, what we had was good in the pods, no hard feelings. Maffer's like, what got her was the guys had to decide, and that was that. She wanted to be able to decide. Maffer, you could have proposed. Okay. Gerardo said he felt, like the past when he was single, going out with a couple friends, and this is not what he wants. He said that in a confessional, not to Maffer. But he did say to Maffer, we could be good friends. She agrees. No hard feelings. No trying to get involved in his relationship. Karen goes to Renee and apologizes and says she was out of place. Good job, Karen. Great job. Renee says he does not hold grudges, and what's between the two of them is about them. Meaning, what's between Iris and Karen is between them. And he told Iris, I'm not going to be rude to Karen because Karen has been rude to me. But I do think you need to also kind of tell her, Renee, please don't speak to my fiance like that in front of me. I really don't like it. Just express it. Fernanda is telling the camera, yes, Gerardo told me what's going down. Of course, the first time I decided not to go anywhere, all this happens, don't mind that they're talking. She don't need no drama. Carlos, Chema told the guys, Carlos was, I guess, one of the guys from the pods. He told the guys what type of shape his woman needed to have. This ain't it. Chema says he did not like Sylvia's dress or fake eyelashes. At the time, it was just certain things he didn't like. Chema, this is your fiance's birthday party, And you're saying, I didn't like her dress or eyelashes. How do you think that's going to make her feel? In front of everybody. In the whole U shape of it all. I didn't like her dress or the fake eyelashes. That's okay. I said, oh, I just, I loved how she looked. Just say that. Iris did not like how he talked about Sylvia on her birthday. Sylvia says she's not Chema's type. She knows. Chema goes for what, was, bad on that day. And he, meaning her dress and eyelashes. And he's not saying that he wanted to be with this type of woman. And, it made her heart go, ugh, when he said that. He didn't affirm that, yes, I used to date skinny ladies before, but I really want Sylvia as she is. Chema says it all got taken out of context. Sylvia, it's like she's mad. He doesn't know what he did wrong. She said what he said was wrong. How he said it was wrong. He said he cares about her and wants what's best for her, and they kiss. They can have a genuine kiss. They kiss. Chema says there has not been a lack of love. There's not been a lack of sex or love with them. So their bond is strengthening. You still ain't said you like the way she looks now. She don't have the fake eyelashes and she don't have that dress. What she's looking for, Chema, and she said it, she's looking for you to say, but I like how she is. I like how she is now. If you don't like it, that's fine. But that's what she was looking for. Fernanda is, says she's not going to go to the extreme because, Gerardo was talking to Maffa. Gerardo says Maffa was super nice. And Fernanda's like, yeah, she's nice. And she genuinely says, yeah, she's nice. She says she's not going, to go off about this, because she had a great time at home. I'm like, you had a great... It sounds not genuine. It's like, yeah, you could have had a party with your friend. I had a great time at home, alone with the dog. Yeah. Gerardo's like, you could have come. She's like, I needed time for myself. And Gerardo's like, right now, they have to spend more time together to really flesh out and figure out if they want to be together. It's a catch-22. It's like sometimes you need space. You don't know this person. You've been single for so long. You get your space when you get home. But then you got to be with the person to learn more and get more with them. It's a catch-22. Chema and Sylvia. Chema, pours on the I love yous when they get home. He apologizes for not saying it. And then she's like, it's okay. Karen and Fernando, she's like, he ain't as tidy as he said he was. She's just like, you ain't as tidy as you said you were in pods. Fernanda's like, how do you feel about the wedding? She's like, she's nervous. She didn't tell her aunts. She's like, what would you say if I said no? He's like, I have nothing to say. Nothing to say in that moment. What can I say? Karen is like, what about if I said no, but we'll see how things work out, later down the road? He's like, no. If it's a no, it's all or nothing. It's a no, I'm gone. It's a no too. He's like, what if I said no? She's like, I'll never see you again. Karen. You want him to be okay if you say, let's date later. But if he says it, you never see him again. If he says no, let's see how it goes, you'll never see him again. Karen, your double standard is double standing. Karen's like, if you're going to say no, then don't come to the wedding because you're breaking my heart in front of my daughter. Oh, golly, Karen. Chema also said, don't put that pressure on that man. Karen, you are also putting your daughter through this. You, her parent, went on this show, and there was a chance you would be putting her through this as well. Don't put it all on Fernando. Willie and Francesca, check-ins are important. She's checking in. She's trying to be careful with her words and her questions. And he's like, don't be. It's like, you. If I tell you how I really feel, you're not going to run away? He's like, no, I don't believe it, Francesca. Gerardo and Fernando, they meet his family, his brother and the brother's wife and the mom. She didn't know his family was going to show up. Gerardo, this is something you prepare her for. Mom says, they're close as any mom and son. And, she said she wanted to, Fernanda said she wanted to find someone to marry. That's why she went on the show. Brother asked, what are you annoyed about my brother? Brother's like, what annoys you? I'm sure he's probably like, because I know what annoys me. So she says, exercise. Him staying inside annoys her about him. Brother's like, he's competitive. He just needs the right partner. And Fernanda says she's excited and happy to see the potential that they have. Mom says, he has been aimless and lonely without a partner. Having a partner makes your life better and gives it some sense of direction. And Gerardo has never had long-term relationships, but has a lot of female friends. Now, Fernanda was like, when she said he never had a long-term relationship, she kind of pulled back like, what? Why is this a surprise? Or did he tell you something different? Mom says, because he has these female friends, I hope you don't be jealous. Are these female friends or female exes? I just want to know, Mama. Mama approves, says she's lovely. She taught her boys to be good men and gentlemen, but sorry, when you get married, the wives come first. And she said, even for her daughter-in-laws are going to come first. I was like, you tell him, Mama. Renee and Iris, they go and learn a waltz. Renee seems stressed. He says, my mom is deciding whether or not she's going to come. One sister is coming, but she doesn't know she can make it there because of where the wedding is. And his dad is not coming. I feel so sorry for Renee. In this whole thing, it was breaking my heart for him. So Iris is like, hey, my family's coming. I'm sure everybody's car ain't full. And if your sister wants to come, we'll give her a ride. Renee says he and his dad never talk. And everything goes through the mom. Is this traditional? Is this a traditional household in Mexico that things go through the mom from the children to the dad? I wonder. Is his family issue, she asks, going to affect whether he says yes or no? And he says, I'm not sure. All this time, Renee been grandiose. I don't care what they say. I don't care. I'm going to do me. Now, you're not sure. Iris says it's making her anxious because family is definitely important. Willie and Francesca, they go to Willie's house and his friends come over. Really beautiful house. Really nice, tastefully done. He has some artwork. So while Willie's thinking about emotions, the artwork is very colorful. So I wonder if Willie's emotions doesn't come through his artwork. So he's, friends come and Francesca tells them she proposed and he said yes. She said that she has a daughter and they ask, are you going to move here? She's like, yeah, it's a great neighborhood, great place, great household. So yeah, she can see her living there with her daughter and with Willie. Friends ask if Mila, her daughter, if the dad is around. She's like, mm-mm. And Will said Mila is very independent young lady. If your friend is concerned and said, but Will is going to be a dad and a partner in one go. And how he talks about Francesca's daughter makes them feel he's really into it. Francesca says communication is important and she challenges him to talk and he's gotten better. And Willie said it has been life-changing for the better because he has not been allowing himself to feel or love or be loved in return. Willie, you're making a lot of strides right now. And I am happy for you. I just don't know if this is actually going to take long term. So the friend says she is a good balance for Willie. Willie says she has been great to help him get his emotions out. The friends, say you care way too much about what your family thinks. Ooh. Too much. It's time for what you want. And he's nervous because it's a new and different way of life for him, but he is happy. I liked Willie's friends. They understand him. They totally understand him. And they're like, shake up, wake up. This for you. You got to live with this wife and daughter. So then we have Fernando and Karen. Her daughter comes over to spend the afternoon with them. Daughter gives them lovely bracelets. They play charades. They play all kinds of games. And they had a really sweet family dinner. Fernando says that it's nice seeing the mom version of Karen, that she's so sweet with her daughter. That was very good to say and very good to see too, Fernando. Because while I'm carrying on about Karen, about going at Renee and at Iris, it was very good to see her be nice and sweet. Karen is happy that they've all meshed well. You have Sylvia and Chema. They meet, the family, mom and brother. The brother says that Chema has a history of relationships coming out of nowhere. Like, wait a minute, Chema. Are these relationships or are these just situationships? Okay, let's define that better. So they talk about his connections in the pods. He talked about Alejandra, the opera singer. And I'm like, why are we talking? Why are we bringing up her name when I'm meeting your family? But that's just probably my bad. So the mom says, will you help with the finances, or are you expecting him to provide everything? Ooh, clutch the pearls, mama. Ooh, the way mama said that. Are you going to be working, or are you going to be mooching off my son? Mama, the fire. And it is interesting to me that a mother is asking, what are you bringing to the table? Sorry. Her mama is asking, are you going to work, young lady? Wow, that is different for me. So Sylvia says, yes, I am working. I have my own job and I have my own money. And the mom is like, what do you work? She's like, oh, I'm a curvy model. Mama's like, yeah, this ain't gonna last. As a model, this ain't gonna last. She need to have a more serious profession. Mama, modeling is a serious profession. So Mama's like, you can't look pretty all day and just make money. Mama, oh my gosh. So Chema, says, will mom be mad if she leaves him at the altar? Mom's like, no. Mom says she could not say yes herself in this scenario. I get you, mama. Mom was like, if she tells you no, yeah, whatever. I was like, dang. Mama ain't even heartbroken for Chema. It's like, dude. So now we go dress shopping and we go suit shopping. And I'm going to keep it brief. Real brief. Everybody brings their mama. All the ladies bring their mama. Karen had a beautiful dress, but I wanted Karen, you have an amazing figure, an amazing silhouette. And I want a more dramatic dress for you with that silhouette. I was like, dang. She chose a lovely dress. Sylvia chose her second dress, but Sylvia, that first dress, the first dress was just smooth and her silhouette was beautiful. And that they had this lovely veil with a hairpiece on the side that was like a sculpture. And I thought Sylvia looked amazing in that first dress. I was like, that knocked my socks off. But then again, I'm not marrying her. Francesca had a classic, elegant dress. She likes that her mom came to support. Iris had an amazing princess dress. It was just layer and layer of dress going out. Okay. Fernanda cries over her dress and she says she's never emotional. It's a very pretty dress. But the two dresses I really liked, I did like Fernanda's dress, though she said getting married was never a dream of hers. I wonder why. But that first dress of Sylvia, jeez Louise, that was a keeper for me. Iris had an amazing dress. Fernanda had an amazing dress too. But I'm telling you, Sylvia, that first dress, that was my top choice for any bride. Ooh, y'all check it out. Make comments if you want to, but be nice. These are their wedding gowns. The fellas went for suits. Fernando brought his brother. Gerardo brought his brother. Willie and Chema brought their cousins. And Renee brought his friend and therapist. Now, is he really a therapist, or are you just saying you just vent to him and he therapizes you? I mean, Fernando chose a white jacket with black lapels. Suit looked good. All of them look good. Chema chose a classic tux, and he then dances with the guy that's dressing them. He's like, "Let me see how this suit moves." It was so Chema. It was so funny. Willie chose a gray suit, navy blue, with a gray vest. Renee had a suit that was black but had reddish tint undertones. It looked really nice. Renee looked dashing. And he said he wanted like a red color because he wanted to look like a prince, because he knew she was going to have a princess style dress. See? Renee's the only one we saw that mentioned, he wanted to compliment her dress. Gerardo got a classic black suit, but it had a woven in pattern. And he said, even though he was here and doing this, he was kind of sad because this was the anniversary of his grandmother's passing. So we go to Karen and Fernando. Fernando said he got a call from his ex. He has, departed on good terms with all of his exes. He got a call from her, and he thought it might be an emergency. Okay? Thought so. Okay? Whatever. If it is an emergency, Fernando, what you going to do about it? But I'm hoping it's not a family emergency. He thought maybe he's helping her with something. So Karen comes in the bedroom. Anything you want to tell me? Fellas, if a lady starts with that, or even says that, she knows. She knows. So anything you want to tell me? Are we getting married? Maybe you want to get back with your ex. Mama, Fernando mama, this ain't the calm Karen you met before, huh? She's like, if this didn't mean anything, why didn't you tell her? For precisely this reason, Karen. You're popping off on the man. Then she's like, she's not talking to anyone she shouldn't, because she's cut off all her exes. She don't talk to anyone. Karen, sweetie. Sweetie. Like you like to say to Iris, sweetie, how are you going to find another woman to join the swing you want to have with Fernando? And you carrying on about his ex. You're having, I don't understand it. You're exuding jealousy. You're exuding jealousy, but how can you go into relationships with other people commingling in your relationship? It doesn't make sense. I have questions, Karen. Because if you're popping off of this, you'll pop off of other things. And this does not scream someone who can be in a multi-amorous or swinging kind of relationship. You just talk to the ex and go anywhere. He's right there. You could ask him, hey, is everything okay? You get more with sugar, more with honey than with vinegar, Karen. So we end the episode with Karen popping off on Fernando and talking with the ex. And I want to thank you for joining me. Whew, we have made it through to episode 8, and the weddings are next week. Once again, thank you for joining me. I hope you had a wild ride. I hope you realize how I feel so spicy about Mexico. Mexico is on. Mexico has everything. The parents don't like you. Sister don't like you. We're spinning the block. Exes calling. Mexico has all kinds for you. But again, thank you for joining me. Please like the video if you can. Subscribe to the channel. And leave a comment. Share with a friend. Because we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about Love is Blind. I have the UK's first 4 episodes already uploaded. So I'm hoping you can tune into those. And Brazil's last season is up there as well. So thank you again for joining me. And leave a comment. Tell me how you really feel. And next week, we are at the weddings. See you then.